Okay guys, we're going to show off the blue and black zombie deck tech for you guys. Let's have a look at what's in this deck. Okay, the idea of this deck is to have a bunch of zombies on the battlefield and just win. There's a couple of sweet interactions here where if you get board wiped, you can bring stuff back with Haunted Dead and Prized Amalgam, which is a nice sweet combo. But we will go through the deck and explain the cards we're playing. So kicking things off with 2 Cryptbreaker, which is a 1 casting 1/1 zombie. We can pay 2 mana, discard a card, put a 2/2 black zombie creature token onto the battlefield, and then we can tap 3 zombies we control and draw a card and lose life. Pretty awesome in a aggro deck where we can utilize it to draw us extra cards as well as create 2/2 tokens to be able to continue the beat down. Moving on to 2 Graf Harvest, which is a 1 casting enchantment. Zombies we control have menace. That means that they can't be blocked except by 2 or more creatures. And we can pay 4 mana to exile a creature card from our graveyard. Then we get to create a 2/2 black zombie token. All pretty awesome that we can utilize cards that have previously been killed and make them into still threats and be able to create an army swarm that we can just take over the game. It's just absolutely insane. And also having menace means that they have like a pseudo evasion, which helps us win so many games as well. We're also playing 2 Dark Salvation, which is a double X and black sorcery card. Target player puts X 2/2 black zombie tokens onto the battlefield. Then up to 1 target creature gets -1/-1 until turn for each zombie that player controls. So it's really good in this deck. It's a great removal spell because we get to create a number of zombie tokens and then we get to kill 1 particular threat, which is really good against indestructible stuff if we need to. We're also playing 2 Grassy Darkness, which is a 2 casting instant. Target creature gets -4/-4 until end of turn. A very sweet little removal spell. It's probably the best black removal spell in the format at the moment. Playing 4 Take Inventory, which is 2 casting sorcery. We get to draw a card, then draw cards equal to the number of cards named Take Inventory in our graveyard. So it's kind of like accumulated knowledge, but not as good because accumulated knowledge was obviously an instant. This is a sorcery, so it's not as good, but it still helps us dig through our deck, which is what it's really here for. And we do have a couple of cards where we can discard it, so we can make sure that when we get our 2nd or 3rd or 4th one, we can make sure we're drawing 2 to 3 to 4 cards for 2 mana, which is pretty sweet. We're also playing 1 Liliana Heretical Healer, which is a 3 casting legendary creature, 2/3 with lifelink. And whenever a non-token creature we control dies, we get to exile it, flip it over, and we get a 2/2 black zombie, and it will turn into Liliana Defiant Necromancer, which is a planeswalker with 3 loyalty. We can add 2 loyalty to have each player discard a card, -X to return target non-legendary creature card with command cast X from a graveyard to the battlefield, and then -8 to get an emblem with whenever a creature dies, return to the battlefield under our control at the beginning of the next end step. Pretty sweet. All 3 modes are very usable. Helps us get stuff back from our graveyard and helps us create a board state that is just completely unfair. We're also playing 2 Diregraf Colossus, which is a 3 casting 2/2 creature, and it enters the battlefield with a +1/+1 counter on it for each zombie card in our graveyard. And whenever we cast a zombie spell, we get to put a 2/2 black zombie token onto the battlefield tapped. So it's pretty sweet that this card gets really ridiculously big if we have zombie cards in our graveyard. And whenever we cast another zombie spell, we get to make more zombies, so we can create a whole swarm of zombies to take over the game. We're also playing 3 Fleshbag Marauder, which is a 3 casting 3/1 zombie, and when it enters the battlefield, each player sacrifices a creature. Pretty straightforward that this card is featured in this because it helps us generate card advantage, and also we can use it with Harvest, what we featured earlier, to create a 2/2 token later on. We're also playing 3 Crow of Dark Tidings, which is a 3 casting 2/1 flying zombie bird. And when it enters the battlefield or dies, we put the top 2 cards of our library into our graveyard. It doesn't seem that efficient, but it's great because it helps get Haunted Dead into the graveyard, helps get Take Adventure into a graveyard, and it doesn't really matter if we put zombie cards into a graveyard because we can always use the Harvest to create tokens from it, so it's pretty awesome. We're also playing 2 Prized Amalgam, which is a 3 casting 3/3 zombie, and whenever a creature enters the battlefield, if it entered from the graveyard or cast from your graveyard, we get to return this card from the graveyard to the battlefield. Taps at the beginning of the next end step. So it's really good. It has nice sweet interaction with obviously the Harvest, and has nice interaction with the Haunted Dead that we haven't even touched upon, but that card is absolutely insane. We're also playing 3 Murder, which is a 3 casting instant, destroy target creature. Pretty straightforward. It's a great little removal spell. Playing 2 Read the Bones, which is a 3 casting sorcery. We get to scry 2 cards and then draw 2 cards, and we lose 2 life. To scry, we look at the top 2 cards of our library, then we put any number of them on the bottom of our library and the rest in any order. This is great at being able to fix our draws and dig through our deck a little bit, which is pretty sweet. We're playing 1 Liliana, the last type, which is a 3 casting planeswalker with 3 loyalty. We can gain a loyalty to have up to 1 target creature and get -2/-1 in turn to turn. Lose 2 loyalty to put the top 2 cards of our library into our graveyard. Then we may return a creature card from a graveyard to the hand. And then -7 to get an emblem with. At the beginning of our end step, we put X 2/2 black zombie tokens onto the battlefield, where X is 2+ number of zombies we control. So it's really good, and it helps us take over the game really sweet. It's really awesome because we're playing a focused, we're playing a zombie deck. It's pretty sweet. We're also playing 1 Kalitas Traitor Ghet, which is a 4 casting 3/4 legendary creature with lifelink, and if a non-token creature an opponent controls would die, instead we exile that card and we put a 2/2 black zombie token onto the battlefield, and then we can pay 3 and we can sacrifice another vampire or zombie and put 2+1/+1 counters on this guy. So it's really good in the zombie deck because we can create more zombies from our opponent's creatures dying, and also we can sacrifice them to make this guy ridiculously big, which is pretty sweet. We're also playing 3 Haunted Dead, which is a 4 casting 2/2 creature, and when it enters the battlefield we put a 1/1 white spirit token onto the battlefield with flying, and then we can pay 2 mana to discard 2 cards and return it from our graveyard to the battlefield tapped. Pretty sweet card, very good in this sort of deck. And even though we're not playing many madness cards, I don't think we're playing any, but even then it's still very good that we get essentially 2 creatures back from the graveyard by having this card. It's just insane. We're also playing 1 Gisa and Geralf, which is a 4 casting 4/4 legendary human wizard. When it enters the battlefield, we put the top 4 cards of our library into our graveyard, and during each of our turns we may cast a zombie creature card from our graveyard. So it's really good that our zombies never ever die and they can keep coming back thanks to this card. It's really good. Also combos well with the Prized Amalgam as well, which is pretty sweet. We're also playing 1 Jace Unraveler Secret, which is a 5 casting planeswalker with 5 loyalty. We can gain loyalty to scry 1, then draw a card. Lose 2 loyalty to have return target creature to its owner's hand, and then -8 to get an emblem with whenever an opponent casts his or her first spell, each turn counter it. So we're only really going to use this for the bounce and the scry ability. Never really going to ult Jace, it's not really that efficient, but it's pretty good at the first 2 modes. We're also playing 1 Ob Nixilis Reignted, which is a 5 casting planeswalker with 5 loyalty. We can get a loyalty to draw a card and lose a life, -3 to destroy a creature, and -8 to have an opponent get an emblem with whenever a player draws a card, they lose 2 life. So we're really going to use it for the first 2 abilities, though we can use it for the -8, though we've usually won the game by the time we usually get to the -8, so it seems like a bit of a win more in this sort of deck, but it's really good at helping us draw through cards and eliminating threats that could be set in our way. Lands this time are going to be 7 islands, 10 swamps, 2 Sunken Hollow, 2 Drowned Catacomb, and 4 Submerged Boneyard. Okay guys, that is the deck tech for the blue and black zombie deck. If you want to check out the gameplay, that is going to be the adaptation now, and I will catch you in the next deck tech. Bye bye.